If you are trying to learn cloud computing, which cloud provider should you learn first? There are several cloud providers out there, and the top three are AWS, Azure, and Google. To pick which one you want to learn, it is really your personal choice. But if you are struggling with this decision, these are 4 points you can use to decide which cloud provider to learn. The first point you should consider when you are picking a cloud provider to learn is the market demand and job opportunities. Remember, I said earlier that there are several cloud providers out there, but the top three are AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. This is a chart that shows the market shares among all the cloud providers. And you can see AWS has the top market share, then followed by Azure and Google. So when you are deciding to pick which cloud provider to learn, it is a good idea to look at the market shares between the cloud providers and decide which one you want to learn. Personally, when I was learning cloud computing as a beginner, I chose AWS because AWS has the most market share. And if you do a quick search on Google, you will see that there are tons of jobs for AWS Cloud Engineer. There are also jobs for Azure and Google Cloud. But personally, I chose AWS because AWS has the most market share. The second point you should consider when you are picking a cloud provider to learn is the ease of learning and the resources that are available to beginners. So what I mean by that is do a quick search online and see how many tutorials, courses, documentation, and community support are out there for beginners. When I was learning cloud computing as a beginner, another reason why I chose AWS was because I found tons of free tutorials on YouTube and Udemy. AWS and Azure also have good documentations that you can read to configure any of their services. Personally, it is easy to configure any AWS services because AWS has good documentation that walk you through step by step on how to configure the service. Both Azure and AWS has good documentations for their service. I haven't worked with Google before, but I'm sure Google also has good documentation. So my point is, when you are trying to learn cloud computing, you should also consider the amount of resources that are available for each cloud provider, and those resources are tutorials, courses, documentation, and community support. Each of these factors will play an important role in your cloud journey and help you reach your goal much faster. The third point you should consider when you are picking a cloud provider to learn about is certifications and career path. Don't let anyone discourage you by telling you that certifications are not important. There are many reasons why certifications are important, and just to name a few, when a recruiter is looking at your resume, having certifications on your resume will give you a better chance than someone who does not have certifications on their resume. Another reason why certifications are important is because sometimes certification may be required to work on the position you are applying for. For example, if you are trying to work in a government position, the position might require you to have a certain certification. So this is why it is important to get certifications. And as a beginner, you don't have to get all the certifications that are out there. I always recommend to the students that I'm mentoring to only focus on the cloud practitioner and the solutions architect associate certifications. Once you have acquired those two certifications, you should start working on hands-on project. And when you know what you are doing, you can decide if you want to go for the advanced certifications like the DevOps professional or solutions architect professional. In the beginning, you don't have to get all the certifications. Just focus on the cloud practitioner and the solutions architect until you know which direction you want to go. For the career path, AWS offers different career paths. I started out learning about AWS to become a cloud engineer, which I now work as a cloud engineer and DevOps engineer. But I can also see myself working as a cloud security engineer or a developer. You can start in one area in the cloud, and the skills that you gain in that area is easily transferable to other areas in the cloud. So basically what I'm trying to say is AWS offers a good career path. The fourth point you should consider when you are picking a cloud provider to learn about is hands-on experience. For most of us that are transitioning from a different field into cloud, the best way to get experience is by completing hands-on project. So when you are picking a cloud provider, make sure you pick a cloud provider that has a platform that allows you to complete hands-on projects to build your experience. Take AWS for example. When you sign up for an AWS account, you get the first 12 months for free. When I was learning cloud computing for the first time, having access to these services, which are the same services you will use when you start working, helped me build my hands-on experience, which led to me getting a job. So when you are considering a cloud provider to learn about, make sure you have free access to the services for those cloud providers so that you can build your hands-on experience. These are the 4 points that I would recommend that you consider when you are picking a cloud provider to learn about. And my advice is only pick one cloud provider to learn at a time. If you are a beginner, don't try to learn all 3 cloud providers at the same time. Pick one cloud provider, stick with it, and make sure you learn everything you need to learn about that cloud provider. Then once you feel you have mastered most of the things you need to learn about the cloud provider, you can add another cloud provider and start learning about it. So don't make the mistake of trying to learn all 3 cloud providers at the same time. If you are someone that wants to learn cloud computing and you don't know where to start, I have tons of free tutorials on this channel, and I also have a mentorship program where I will mentor you for a year and teach you all the skills you need to learn to get a job as a cloud engineer. If you are interested, please check out the link in this video's description. If you also have any questions, please leave your comments below. I wish you all the best on your journey. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.